By the end of this video, you should understand what the term product truly means in marketing. You will be able to distinguish between goods and services, explain how technology augments products, and understand the strategic role of branding and packaging. These concepts are foundational for developing competitive marketing strategies. By the end of this video, you should understand what the term product truly means in marketing. You will be able to distinguish between goods and services, explain how technology augments products, and understand the strategic role of branding and packaging. These concepts are foundational for developing competitive marketing strategies. In addition, you will learn how consumer and business products are classified. Product classes help marketing managers decide on pricing, promotion, and distribution strategies. We will also introduce key terminology that you will use throughout the rest of the course. In marketing, a product includes the entire customer experience. This means physical features, services, brand image, support, and even how the product makes the customer feel. Customers do not buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. Product quality is defined as the ability to satisfy customer needs or requirements. Quality is not about being the best, it is about being right for the target market. A product that exceeds expectations in one market may fail in another if it does not align with customer needs. Here is the example that illustrates the difference between product assortment, product lines, and individual products. A product assortment includes all product lines offered by a company. A product line is a group of closely related products, while an individual product is a single item within that line. Most products are not purely physical goods or purely services. Instead, products exist on a continuum that blends tangible and intangible elements. On one end, we have products that are mostly physical goods with very little service, such as packaged salt. On the other end, we have mostly services, such as consulting, where there is no physical product at all. Many products fall in the middle. For example, a smartphone includes hardware, software, updates, and customer support. A restaurant meal combines food with service and atmosphere, and customers often value the experience as much as the food itself. From a marketing strategy perspective, this blend affects pricing, promotion, distribution, and branding decisions. The key takeaway is that customers evaluate the entire experience, not just the physical product. There are major structural differences between goods and services and why they must be marketed differently. First, tangible versus intangible. Because a good is a physical thing, it can be seen and touched. But services are intangible. We often look for recommendations of service providers. Can you tell me the name of a good veterinarian? Or advertisements show something tangible, as we saw in the previous Mayhem ad for Allstate. Second, W here produced. Goods are typically mass-produced in a factory far away from the customer. A service is usually produced in person, where the customer is located, after the customer has committed to making the purchase. These differences influence service quality, and a service provider is now responsible for service quality. Service businesses, like a hotel or airline, often invest in training and systems to assure consistent quality. Finally, services are perishable. When a flight takes off from New York City today with empty seats, United Airlines cannot store those seats and use them at Christmas when demand is high. A movie theater cannot save empty matinee seats for the weekend when a movie theater might sell out. One way to manage supply and demand here is to charge lower prices at low demand times. Movie theaters charge less for tickets to afternoon shows. Technology increasingly enhances products by adding convenience, personalization, and intelligence. Smart devices, apps, and AI tools transform traditional products into dynamic solutions. Technology is now a core component of competitive advantage. For example, a augmented reality overlays a computer-generated image, sound, text, or video on a user's view of the physical world. It can augment the customer's experience of a product. Another example is artificial intelligence that refers to having machines operate like humans with respect to learning and decision making. Intelligent agents such as Google Now are devices that observe an environment and act to achieve a goal. Analytics are used to help AI and intelligent agents anticipate customer needs. While customers see value from the integration of technology into products, it also offers value to firms that collect and analyze the data. There is growing consumer interest in buying virtual products. What is branding? Branding means the use of a name, term, symbol, or design to identify a product. Some companies use a combination of some or all of these when branding. This exhibit shows many familiar brands. Recognized trademarks and symbols help consumers identify and remember brands. They reduce search time and build trust. Strong branding supports promotion by reinforcing brand meaning across touchpoints. There are several conditions favorable to successful branding. They are as follows. The product is easy to label and identify by brand or trademark. The product quality is easy to maintain and is the best value for the price. Dependable and widespread availability is possible. Demand is strong enough that the market price can be high enough to make the branding effort profitable. There are economies of scale. If branding is really successful, costs should drop and profits should increase. Favorable shelf locations or display space in stores will help. These conditions are less common in less developed economies. Brand familiarity means how well customers recognize and accept the company's brand. Building brand familiarity is challenging and requires repeated exposure. Consumers must recognize, recall, and trust a brand before it influences behavior. Consistency across marketing channels is critical. This figure shows 6 levels of brand familiarity that are useful for strategy planning. Brand rejection means that potential customers won't buy a brand unless its image is changed. Brand non-recognition means final consumers don't recognize a brand at all, even though intermediaries may use it for identification and inventory control. Brand recognition means that customers remember the brand. Brand preference means that target customers choose the brand over other brands. Brand insistence means customers insist on a firm's branded product and are willing to search for it. Brand evangelism means that customers are so enthusiastic about a brand that they actively spread positive word of mouth. Registering brand names and trademarks is important because it means that no one else can use them without specific authorization from the owner. U.S. Common law and civil law protect the rights of trademark and brand name owners. The Lanham Act 1946 spells out what kinds of marks can be protected and the exact method of protecting them. A brand can be a real asset to a company, but each company must monitor and protect its own. If a brand becomes a generic descriptive word for a product category, protection is lost and the brand becomes public property. Discussion question: why do the makers of Kleenex, Q-tips, Band-Aids, and other widely used brand names refer to their products as, for example, Band-Aid brand adhesive bandages instead of just Band-Aids? Even if brands are registered, counterfeiting is accepted in some cultures, especially in developing nations. Many popular branded products, such as Levi's jeans and Rolex watches, have been copied without authorization. Weak regulation in many developing countries makes it difficult for companies to protect their brands from counterfeits. Marketing managers have different options when it comes to branding. The choices fall into 2 branding questions. 1. What kind of brand to use? And 2. Who should do the branding? What kind of brand to use includes the option of a family brand, the using same brand name for several products. For example, Toyota or Deloitte are family brands. A licensed brand is a well-known brand that sellers pay a fee to use. A company uses individual brands, separate brand names for each product, when it's important for the products to each have a separate identity, as when products vary in quality or type. For example, General Mills uses individual brands for its cereals, including Cheerios, Trix, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Generic products that have no brand at all other than identification of their contents and the manufacturer or intermediary. Generic products are usually offered in plain packages at lower prices. They are quite common in less developed nations. The second question involves who should do the branding. Manufacturer brands are created by producers. Burger King, Campbell's Soup, and Band Deodorant are examples of manufacturer brands. On the other hand, many intermediaries create their own brands. Walmart sells Sam's Choice, and Ch08 and Priority Pet is used by Safeway. This puts the intermediary in direct competition with the brands that it also sells and leads to the battle of the brands. The competition between dealer brands and manufacturer brands is just a question of which brands will be more popular and who will be in control. Packaging involves promoting, protecting, and enhancing the product. Good packaging makes products easier to identify and promotes the brand. Packaging can enhance the product. Packaging can do more than contain and protect the product. The package can make the product easier to use or safer to use. Packaging can deter shoplifting, and it can also be designed to achieve ecological objectives. Packaging sends a message. Creative use of design in packaging can visually help to tie the product to other elements of the promotion mix. Packages also convey information, such as the nutritional information on food products. The package promotes the brand at the point of purchase or in use. Packaging can lower distribution costs. Good packages save space and weight, so they are easier to transport, handle, and display. In helping distributors and end sale retailers, good packages are more welcomed by these intermediaries. Greener packaging creates value for buyers and sellers. Growing numbers of consumers are interested in making greener choices. Most sustainable packaging initiatives lower costs for producers too. Question: do you know of any products that never seem to get scanned at the checkout counter? How much more time does it take to hand enter the code? Could time savings lead to lower costs? How can packages be redesigned to make them easier to scan? In determining what is socially responsible packaging, marketers are helped by the clarity of legal regulations. However, other issues require them to make ethical judgments. Packaging can hurt the environment. Ecological concerns are becoming more prominent in packaging decisions. Producers have been criticized for developing packages that harm the environment. Others contend that manufacturers do not disclose all of the possible harmful effects of their products. The Federal Fair Packaging and Labeling Act 1966 requires that consumer goods be clearly labeled in easy to understand terms to give consumers more information. The law also calls on industry to try to reduce the number of package sizes and to make labels more useful. Ethical issues remain. Some companies have been accused of designing packages that conceal downsized products. Dealer branded products are often packaged to look very similar to manufacturer brands. The Federal Fair Packaging and Labeling Act of 1966 requires that consumer goods be clearly labeled in easy to understand terms to give consumers more information. The law also calls on industry to try to reduce the confusing number of package sizes and make labels more useful. There have been further guidelines. The Nutrition Labeling and Education Act of 1990 requires food manufacturers to use a uniform format that allows consumers to compare the nutritional value of different products. Developing product strategies is simplified somewhat because some product classes require similar marketing mixes. Understanding the product classes is a useful strategic starting point. Consumer products are products meant for the final consumer. Business products are products meant for use in producing other products. Some products might be in both groups. For each of these categories, there are a range of product classes which we'll explore next. Consumer product classes are based on how consumers think about and shop for products. Convenience products are purchased quickly with little effort. They may be inexpensive, but often require little service or selling and bought by habit. Staples are bought often, routinely, and without much thought, like breakfast cereal, canned soup, and other packaged foods used every day in almost every household. Impulse products are bought quickly as unplanned purchases because of a strongly felt need. They may be strongly affected by the immediate situation. Emergency products are purchased immediately when the need is great. Consumers don't shop around for these products or ask how much they cost. Shopping products are products that are compared with competing products. Homogeneous shopping products are ones that the customer sees as basically the same and wants at the lowest price. Heterogeneous shopping products are seen as different in quality and/or suitability. Quality, features, and style of the products matter more than their price. Specialty products are ones that the consumer really wants because there are no acceptable substitutes. They are characterized by the consumer's willingness to search. Unsold products need promotion. Customers don't want them yet or don't know that they can buy them. New unsold products represent ideas potential customers don't know about yet. Regularly unsold products are ones that don't motivate customers to seek them out even though they may need them. Discussion question. Can you provide an example of each product class?